Well, today is the last full day of our trip to the UK, and we've come to Sherborne Castle to have a look, somewhere we've never been to before, so it's a little bit new to us, but it looks very interesting. It's got some gardens, so Anita will like that. It's got a castle, so I like that, so it's got a little bit for everything. With our daughter, Serena, she's with us, and Luna, our granddaughter, and we're going to have a lovely time, I'm sure. So we booked online, so we had a code to come in, so that was all very easy. We've been given a map, so we can have a little walk around the gardens, and the castle opens about 12 o'clock, so we've got a little time to walk around. Only 11:30 at the moment. A few people here, but there was plenty of parking. Parking was not an issue. We were met by a field gun. Try and find out a little bit of the history as we're wandering around. This big lake. And some nice buildings out here. Another lovely place to come.
Wow!
So Anita's just been reminding me that the castle itself, the castle we'll be going into later on, was commissioned by Sir Walter Raleigh, so it's got some history, and the gardens and this lake, which came later, were actually designed by probably the most famous British gardener, Capability Brown, who actually did the design for Trentham Gardens, where we're from. And actually the lake, looking at it, is a little bit similar. You can see some swans swimming out there. It looks quite a nice, largish lake. My daughter's already met someone she knows. As the castle doesn't open, we're just going to have a little walk around the side of the lake. And there's a gate here. We can follow the path around. And I do like maps. Gave us a map on as we came in, but it's always nice to see a big one. So just before we go into this garden area. So we're here. This is the castle, which we'll be going to later on, but we're going to have a little walk around. Well, we'll see how far we get. We've got some old ruins up at the top there of the old Sherborne Castle. So here it says, "Welcome to Sherborne Castle and Gardens," which has been the home of the Digby family since 1617. Built by Sir Walter Raleigh in 1594, this historic house reflects a variety of decorative styles from over 400 years of English history. We have nationally important collections of art, furniture and porcelain, and the Grade 1 listed garden was one of Capability Brown's first commissions, giving us an English landscape garden, a 50-acre lake, magnificent specimen trees, herbaceous borders and sweeping lawns. So that's what we're going to be investigating today.
From every season and
just
every
go
weather.
through the gate and we can make our way along this lovely path. The weather has been very kind to us while we've been here in August 2021. So it is summer, but we've been back many times in August and the weather's not been so kind. So we've been quite lucky today. So we're actually walking now very close to the side of the lake. We've got the lovely gardens. Just see the castle in the distance over there. That's where we'll be going to later on. A lovely walk here by the lake, and over the other side we can see a little, looks like a boathouse. See our family coming through. It's all nicely kept gardens here. Capability Brown would be happy. And lots of different varieties of plant and trees. Carry on our little walk. It's going up a little bit here. So you can see it is quite a large lake, which Capability Brown did in Trentham Gardens in Staffordshire. There's quite a large lake there, as big as this one I would imagine, if not a little bit bigger. When I was a boy they used to have water skiing on the lake. I didn't see any boats on this one. Clearly it is big enough for boat rides. So you can see nice varieties of plants here. Rita's the expert on plants, not me. Already noticed quite a few butterflies as we've walked through. And now we're back onto the pathway. Quite a few labels here, so you could find out a little bit more about the individual plants. Quite strange hearing seagulls by the lake here. We've seen the swans, and I've just seen a robin actually. Coming up to a little bridge. Beautiful day. Perfect day to be walking in the English countryside. There are benches dotted around as well, so if you need a rest, sit down, watch and listen to the beauties of nature. This is referred to here as Raleigh's seat. Sir Walter Raleigh built this stone seat into the wall beside the road so he could sit here and look over his gardens, while at the same time keeping an eye on the traffic. The road was the main route to Dorchester until 1856, and the present new road was built. Raleigh learned how to smoke tobacco from the Native Americans, and there is a story that Sir Walter was sitting here enjoying his pipe when a servant approached with a jug of ale. Thinking his master was on fire, he threw the ale over him. So we've got this seat and this seat. So how he managed to see over this wall to the road which was below, one wonders. Not much of a road now anyway, but you just sit here and think. Sir Walter Raleigh was actually sitting there, smoking his pipe. Quite astonishing, really. And now we've just got to head down this slope and a little bit of warning. It is quite steep and quite slippery. So yes, I have to be a little bit careful here. There's a rail, so I can hold on to the rail. I can hear the sound of running water down below. And there's the stream running through, which Capability Brown must have used to supply water to his lake.
Mira el perrito. Mira. Aquí. Mira.
Looks a bit like Scooby-Doo. I read this morning the actual name Sherborne comes from clear water, which was referring to the stream that ran through. I'm not sure whether it's this one or some other one. And it's also on the River Yeo, where Yeovil gets its name from. So here's the source of the sound of running water. This is the overflow from the lake, which is just beyond there. And the water gushing down into this stream. Quite a busy little piece of water here, little waterway. You can see it is actually constructed, so you can see the stones along there. So some of this is somewhat artificial, but that would be the work of Capability Brown. That's the sort of thing he did during his reign as the Master Gardener of Britain. Going to continue our walk along the path here by the stream, and there is a little tunnel where the water goes underneath the road that I was talking about, that Sir Walter Raleigh was looking at. Cute. So water goes just below us here, so we're on the bridge. And the road just to the left of us. Some hydrangeas here. Oh, Mum. Nana's favourite. Fuchsia's, Rita's favourite.
I'm so glad
Didn't ever have much luck with them in Mallorca though. They come at a lovely time of the year. Everything's lush. I think they've had a lot of rain. And there's something about waterfalls and running water, weirs.
Look. The level. There's a bit in the middle.
And we come to another seat. And this one's the Pope's seat. Not the Pope as in Rome, but Alexander Pope. He was the poet and writer, and he visited Sherborne Castle in 1724 and was so impressed with the gardens that he wrote a long description of them. He particularly liked the shaded walk to the natural cascade with never-ending murmurs, never ceasing murmurs. I've rewritten Pope. And the views of the glimmering waters. Here there are there was a rustic seat of stone.
The present structure is from 1778 and was designed by Henry Holland, who was paid £30 10 shillings for a covered bench in the garden. In 1780, the castle mason put the finishing touches to the alcove in the grove. The seat was named in honour of the poet.
Got a beautiful view over the castle here and over the lake. You can imagine it'd be quite pleasant to sit there and write up your poetry. It's getting a little bit steeper here. We were warned when we came in that if we follow along this path, there are some steps as well. Oh, yeah, some bulrushes. Which sort of thing that Capability Round would have brought into the gardens here.
Again.
It is a sunny day, so it's nice to walk through the gardens here where you've got the trees that are giving us a little shade. Anita hasn't got a parasol with her, so she needs a little bit of shade. It's actually getting, for Anita, a little bit cool, so she's had a new jumper. This is a lovely walk and not too strenuous. They are very well kept. Trees are nicely pruned. The gardens, the grass has been mowed. Just very well done. Wow, an enormous tree in front. Just look up at that one.
Wow, look at that tree up there, Luna.
And this looks to be a folly. Is this a folly? Many of the areas in England have follies. They're not real castles, they're just like built to be ruins of castles. We have one in Staffordshire called Mow Cop, right at the top of a hill, and very similar to this actually. It's got a bit of a tower with a part of a wall, and it looks as though it's the remains of an ancient castle. But it's a folly, it's not a real castle. There's actually a plaque over here, see if we can find out when it was actually built. So the folly was built in the 18th century as part of the scheme to beautify Capability Brown's landscape. In 1756, the local builder Daniel Penny was paid £22 for the building ruins under the castle. And the following year he was paid £4 and 8 shillings for finishing the tower. From the notebook that he kept, it is clear that Lord Digby liked the fashionable trend of incorporating ruins in the garden, and used the old castle as the picturesque feature in the landscape that he was creating. He built the folly to link the genuine ruins with the pleasure grounds around the lake. When the lake was finished in 1754, the old castle ruins became the backdrop to the water. The crenellated wall, which can be seen at the top of the bank, was built by Daniel Penny at the same time as part of the scheme to integrate the old castle into the new landscape. So we're going to head off in this direction. This tree is quite remarkable. It is quite remarkable. In fact, So remarkable, it's got a lightning conductor built onto the side, and it's probably nearly 2 meters across. It is a huge tree. That's the first time I've ever seen a lightning conductor attached to a tree. Lightning conductors quite often contain copper, and copper is poisonous to most plants. Anita's found another tree, well, the stump of a tree. She's actually standing in it. And that's an equally huge tree. How sad that that one's gone. Probably a tree that's 1,000 years old. So a tree that would have been around at the same time that Sir Walter Raleigh was here. And the path continues. I don't think it's long since they've actually cut the grass here. I've got quite a strong smell of freshly cut grass. It's really pleasant. Who's calling Grandad? Luna's calling Grandad. And look, we've got some more ruins up here. These are genuine ruins. It gets a little bit steeper here, the path's quite steep. We need to go up to have a look at the ruins. So a little bit of a climb here. I do like the way they've put signs with a little bit of information about what we're looking at. Quite often you go to places and you see something that looks interesting, you don't actually know what it is. Here we've got clearly the remains of a building which was the castle. It's now secure, and we're not allowed in here. I guess some parts may be a little bit unsafe, but at least we can view it from the distance. Yeah. So in the when the old Digby family were living here, this is where they would bring their visitors just to show them the ruins of the old castle. And this is an area where they created so that they could overlook all the grounds here. And down there they'll be able to look at the lake as well. More huge trees. Luna's having a run around.
Luna, come with me. Come with me, hide behind the tree.
Luna's running and hiding behind a tree which has got a huge base.
Wow.
Where's Nana?
¿Dónde está Nana? Corre. Where's Nana?
Anita was noticing berries on the trees as well. We've got some berries. goes off in different directions. I'll just take this one. Lots of little paths here that you can go into the woods and explore a little bit more. Plenty of places you can just take a seat and enjoy the views over the fields. Walled gardens, so there's a wall down there and there's another path I can see down there. Can't get over how big some of these trees are. The base of this one is just enormous. And it's labelled Cedrus libani. One imagines these were here, these bigger trees must have been here when Raleigh built their house, so they date back to the older castle. Right there.
Yes, thank you. Very different from the grounds to the other castles. The
Very
gardens.
different, very nice, very spacious, very nicely kept. Really quite pretty.
These are the red berries that are falling off the tree on the ground.
Little summer house. I think this may well be the end of our little walk. We'll start heading back towards the castle. Another tree here that's sadly lost the battle. I think one of the problems here could be lightning. As we've seen earlier on, there was one of the trees that was struck by lightning and had a lightning conductor. Summer house actually looks quite modern, and as we look inside, it's actually dated 2017, so it is really very modern. Well, very nice. It's got some stained glass windows at the top there, and they present some lovely shadows. So this building has been erected to commemorate 400 years of the Digby family ownership of Sherborne Castle. It was constructed by the estate staff and local craftsmen using local materials. The external wooden panels are made of different types of wood grown on the estate, and the stone floor and walls and panels are examples of various types of Jurassic stone quarried on the estate, some of which are rich in fossils such as ammonites and belemnites. So here we go, you can see some of the fossils here. That's a nice ammonite, some more fossils here, and you can see where some of the fossils have been.
This one.
The seat itself is actually constructed of cedar, and even in the floor we can see fossils. Just here, look, and all around here lots of fossils. And this part is totally fossils. I've just walked in straight over it and not noticed, but everything there is a fossil. And over here, And the stonework, nice stonework with fossils inside. It's been smoothed off, and some of the fossils here to make up the rest of the wall. And then here we've got some more fossils. Here's a nice big ammonite. Yeah, and then a depiction of an ammonite. Fascinating. I think this is actually a real fossil. This isn't, obviously, but this is. It's a really nice construction. And just looking up at the top, we've got these beautiful stained glass windows. And so that's the end of our little walkway along here. We're now going to head back and head towards the castle now. I need to tie a lace. These are the huge trees that we were looking at.
Got a coat of arms on it.
Just going around here, I need to spotted something inside the remains of this particular tree, which if you walk around this side you wouldn't actually see.
It's like a seat.
But it is indeed a seat. All scouts will recognise this.
Fleur-de-lis.
And there's Luna up on the hill. We're just going to head back to them now. We've just walked all the way down here. We'll just walk all the way back to them up there. So from the old castle, we can actually walk around the side of the castle wall. Keeps us up a little bit higher from the lake. So I suppose I anticipate as we're walking along here, we will occasionally get some nice views of the lake. Here's the old castle wall. It's obviously been looked after, so it's been repaired over the years, and it's actually in reasonably good condition. And then every now and again we get a view. That's the folly down there. And we get views of the lake. This is nice. Walk along the wall here, it just gives you an idea of just how big this is. So just looking through the opening, you couldn't really tell. Every now and again you just get glimpses of the lake down there. It's a nice little glimpse of the lake and the boathouse, which is just on the other side of the lake. I can see a bench in front. Opportunities to take a little rest while the rest of the family catch up. We are quite high up above the lake here, so we've taken the top road. That's the bench. It's in a nice sunny position. I'm not sure what condition it is to be seated on there. I think the lichen going on it, but the trees have grown up, so the view's been lost a little bit. Here's Anita coming along with Serena and Luna. tall enough to put my camera above the wall, so we can't really see too much. There's a tower up there though. Other than the artificial entrance that we saw at the beginning of this wall, we've not actually seen an entrance to this castle. Now we can start to see a little bit more. Tower there. Interesting remains of the old castle. And this wall comes to an end, and now actually do come to a gate that is closed.
Is that the castle there? Must be. There's still a castle. Probably access to the mountain.
No.
Hello, Dub. Frightening.
No me dio hola. Hola, patos. Or a banana.
Luna, look at the ducks sitting there. Where else getting nothing here?
We hope you've enjoyed our tour of the gardens and around the lake of Sherborne Castle. Unfortunately, I couldn't video inside, so we've just been for a tour around the castle. Fascinating history, largely to do with Sir Walter Raleigh, who built at least the central part of the castle, and then entered into the Digby family. So really interesting, and if you're ever down in this part of the world, in Dorset, in the south of England, it's certainly a place worth a visit. Beautiful gardens to walk through, and a very interesting historical castle to investigate. Thanks for watching. Please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Bye for now.
All I've bought is a fridge magnet, so I think I've done really well. Bye.